Getting Jersey Shore vibes. Or Jersey in
Nah,
general.
I'm seeing New York.
Ugh.
You want to lay money?
Sure. It's
You got 20? I got 20 to play in this game.
I got plastic.
Here, I'll let you borrow a 20.
Thank
got
you.
20.
Yeah, Jersey.
New York. Probably the Bronx. I'm thinking the Bronx. New York
Yeah.
does have a Jersey vibe though.
Yeah, it's just questionable decisions all around. This is what I'm thinking of Jersey.
All right. 20 up. You're going to pay me back my 20 and give me another one if we lose?
Sure, when I can find
I'm
one.
already starting to talk like I'm from New York.
It's rubbing off on you.
It's from New York. This car, looking at this thing, it absolutely screams New York.
Yeah, northeast.
20 up. 20 up.
20 up. Jersey.
New York.
Vermont.
Oh, man. That is not a Vermont car, Pat.
Eh.
Let's go look and see.
Equally
I think I'm
bad.
right. Ha! New York. I knew it. This screams New York. $20 back in my pocket. I still don't know why I didn't get your 20 in. He's took off.
Math. Not strong at it.
Car guy math. I guess what we're going to do is I want to go through this car because it's kind of an interesting little ride.
Yeah.
It's not in too bad a shape. We do know it is a northern car, obviously with a New York registration from 2010. It was driving around New York back then.
Yeah.
And oddly enough, that's kind of a long time ago. That's, it's 12 years ago, so it's been a minute.
I think I was still in middle school.
So what I want to do is I kind of want to look at this thing and see what it's going to need because we are going to potentially be doing some stuff to it. The owners asked Pat to work on the car, and I've volunteered our services for some weird stuff because there is some oddity going on with this vehicle.
Yeah. Overall, though, it's pretty clean.
It's actually pretty darn clean, except for the, I got a question. Do you want to do the Vinny Gambini game? Or do you want to do the what's wrong with this car game? Which one do you want to do?
Which one will get us demonetized fastest?
Most likely
The Vinny Gambini.
Most likely the Vinny Gambini game, yeah. Too bad Mona Lisa's not here. Would probably help our views.
It'd be
Which
a
one
good
the
contest.
The Gambini game is strong in this one.
Yes, yeah, very.
I mean, this is definitely got a New York vibe to
Your
it.
hose overlays that don't actually cover the hose at all. Your quick start ground that's factory ground for the entire chassis is the alternator bracket.
Also, the household
Wire nuts.
wire
yep.
nuts on it. Yeah, it's got
So
some
if
cool
you have
stuff.
a problem, you can just twist it off and
It's got
separate.
these nice
it
little
with
sleeves on the Allen head
all
fasteners.
Chinesium. Yeah, like
Would Vinny Gambini use Chinesium stuff though?
Italianesium, whatever. Don't do that.
Okay, so there are a couple negatives. But there's more positives on this thing than negatives. It is a factory power steering car, so it's got a factory power steering box in it. And you would think by looking at that dadgum booster right there that it had power disc brakes, wouldn't you?
Yes.
No, it doesn't. It's got power drums on it.
Spicy.
And as we saw when we opened up, this thing is sitting like a 4x4.
Yes, with air ride in the back.
So
or air shocks.
another point in the Gambini game.
Want to intimidate some people? Just put 30 psi in the back. It's like you're ready
What do you think?
to
You go to
launch.
150 on those, right?
Yeah. Punch a hole in the floor.
I don't even want to know what it would look like. The gold, kind of another point in the Gambini game.
Yeah, it looks like they were kind of going for an Iron Man motif.
I hadn't thought about it. Wait, with Pat's car, because Pat is actually, his car was a factory original, dark blue metallic, red interior with a white top. So he's going for a Captain America motif. His buddy, which this is his buddy's car, he should go for Iron Man with this one with the gold and the
Can
maroon.
assemble the Avengers one box at a time. I got the Punisher now.
I don't think he's not part of the Avengers, is he?
He's just kinda
Punisher's
like
kind of, he's got his
sideline.
own deal.
Yeah,
He's
you're
his
right.
own man. He just likes to kill people. So. We're probably going to get demonetized for the Marvel mentions.
Mention of violence.
Yeah, mention of violence. Anyway, underneath the hood, it's not too bad. This car is actually pretty good. I do see some evidence of rodents. There's a little bit of nuttage on a little bit of nuttage on the intake manifold, and a nice little tuft of some kind of cottony material that could be from God knows anywhere.
Yes.
But that's a little worrisome to me. That's something that is indicative of there may be a problem in the interior, which when you're looking at a classic car like this, that's something you want to check on.
But you can't smell this one from 10 feet away, so not horrible.
We've had a couple where, holy moly, it's like rodent city.
If you can get close to it and smell rat.
Yeah, so far we haven't. From over here and standing by it, I don't know. Jackson was in the car running it around and stuff, so while we were pushing it. So I don't know if Jackson smelled any rodentage in there, but he may not know.
He didn't
what
start
rodentage
coughing,
is.
so
Antivirus kills him right away. All right, so under hood we look pretty good. We don't know how this thing runs. It's been 12 years from what Pat told us and the owner told him. It's been 12 years since it run last.
It's got long tubes, engine dress kit, so might.
It's got a cool little Edelbrock kit on it. I don't really care for the Edelbrock air cleaners. If we could manage it and talk people into it at National Parts Depot, I would love to put Cal induction on this thing for the guy. I think that would make a really cool video, NPD. And also I think it would be something that would be kind of cool for him to have the Cal induction on here. So that's something to look at. I do like those Edelbrock valve covers. Those are pretty neat looking. We're missing a couple of Allen heads. There's one missing here.
Yeah, several on this side too.
So we could probably pick those up somewhere, I'm sure.
And it might be built. I mean, it's got a belt drive set, or at least a pulley set.
Yeah, it's got the main pulley and the water pump pulley or the aftermarket stuff. Whoever did it didn't want to spend the money on the alternator pulley and the power steering pulley, but not our fault. And we got a nice little flathead screw there holding the fan shroud off.
Extra reinforcement.
Everything that the factory guys did was Phillips head, except for carburetor and distributor stuff. And then they go and put a flathead screw there. And this stuff. Did they put one on the bottom? No, they didn't. So they only did the top with the.
That's the only one you're going to look at.
3 for Vinny. Oh, it's got Vinny horns.
Yeah, it does.
I wonder what those sound like. It looks like they're not running.
No. Looks like this one actually got turned and painted.
Those are actually, is that FIAM?
Yeah.
FIAM?
Yes.
Whatever.
FIAM.
FIAM.
Yeah.
That looks like an Italian horn. All right. Well, we've looked at the engine bay. We haven't even addressed the battery situation, what's going on over there. But I'll leave that sleeping dog lie where it is. We've already talked about all the fun stuff. So let me move to the interior. I'm going to get in this thing and see what I smell. I hope I don't see it. But I'm going to take a look at what we got going on in the interior.
Just make sure you don't sit in it first.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to play Vinny Gambini Bingo as well as Cheesy Car Stuff Bingo on this ride into the interior. I don't know about the steering wheel. This really doesn't give the Vinny Gambini vibe. The stereo system with the really cool 1980s equalizer underneath the dash, that's an 80s vibe. I'm a child of the 80s. I can tell what it's supposed to be like. Definitely get some points on the Cheesy Car Bingo because of the way the gauges are just sitting there flopped on top of the console. The cool thing is National Parts now has a kit that you can add the 4-gauge setup to these consoles. And this console is in amazingly good shape. I think with a little bit of cleanup, you could have a really nice looking piece out of this and then add the gauges to it to ditch the 3-gauge pack that's there. And heck, you could even go in then and put the tack with the gas gauge in the center and all that stuff and lose the cool 1980s sun tack. If he doesn't want that, I might take that from him, because I had a sun tack just like that in my 71 Mach 1 on the dash, because that's how you did it in the 80s. Other car bingo, let's see what we got for functioning things in here. The turn signal system sounds like it's in pretty good shape. I really can't drive it around and test the canceling cam. We are absolutely missing the fan control for speed of the fan. There's absolutely nothing there. I can't even feel the shaft inside of it. I can see it though. It's right there in the off position. Let's see if we've got any motion from. Oh, there it went. I broke it free. So the problem that you run into these cars sometimes is if mice can get in here, a lot of times they will habitate inside of the air box if they can get in there, because it's a nice, quiet, dark place for them to propagate and poop and pee in the interior. It doesn't really smell that much like rodent in here. This is where you're going to get most of that smell. Admittedly, we have all the windows down, but there's not really a bad ammonia smell in here, so I'm pretty happy about that. I am really worried because we have a hole in the headliner right here. Anytime you've got a hole with some tatty on it like this is, you stand a good chance of there being a lot of material inside of the headliner, like cotton tuft like we saw underneath the hood. If you've got them in the engine bay, you've probably had them in the car and may even have them in the car. This tells me they've gotten in here. And another place that you can actually look is pull the visors down, because a lot of times these guys will come in and they'll pop in through the headliner on the back side of the visors. If your visor's down just a little bit, I guess what they're doing is they're jumping from the seat, from the rail of the car or the windowsill of the car, coming onto the headrest and jumping up here and getting into the headliner. All right, so that's that. Probably got a rodent problem in the roof line of the car because of that hole right there. But it's not a bad smell, so they either haven't been in here very long, or if they have, they haven't pooped in here. So maybe they're very kind mice. All right, I'm going to check the glove box, see what's in here. Wow, the glove box is still in here. You get points for that. That's not normal. Normally the glove box is just completely missing. There's some stuff from Haggerty. So it's got the insurance papers. That's good. Ashtray is, it's an ashtray. I mean, it's the lighter's, the actual lighter's stuck inside the cavity there. I would make this into a 12-volt power source. Don't you just love the sound of a 1960s glove or a ashtray? They don't make them like that anymore. Probably because people don't smoke like that anymore. All these people are walking around with their strawberry vapes and stuff. Vinny would not have a strawberry vape. I'm just telling you right now. All right, I'm going to do the most dangerous thing. I'm going to go around to the trunk and we're going to check for bingo back there. I know there's some bingo on the outside. We'll save the outside for last. Overall, I like this car so far. Door panel cards were pretty cheap for this one. You could put a set of cards in it. This one needs a driver's door panel and an armrest and a window crank. Past that, I would just recover these two front seats, clean it up a little bit. Carpet's even pretty nice in it. So far, I'm liking it. I'm liking it a lot. All right, so trunks are a spot where the rodents like to live, and it's a nice big open area. It's a great house for the rodents. Call it a mansion. The big problem for you is, especially on a car like the Camaro, when you don't have a gas tank back here and it's just a straight up floor, they tend to want to use a place as a toilet, and it looks like our friendly rodents in this one used this as their toilet. What I'm showing you right here, though, that's the problem that they can cause. They can cause rust because their poop is pretty darn caustic. And with it being as caustic as it is, it's going to eat into the paint and eat through the paint and rust that pan out. And before not long, if a car sits for too long, it's going to cause a problem with it wanting to just keep going. The rust will keep developing, and pretty soon the floor pan will be trashed. So for, you know, car mistake bingo, I guess, whatever we're calling it. Nothing really back here, but we do have Vinny points back here because we have 2 subwoofers and a really nice amp. Vinny would be proud. There's a lot of wire. All right, so now we're going to move around to the whole car. We're going to look at the whole thing next on the outside. We're going to take everything in and kind of give it a little bit of consideration as to what's going on and what they did out here, because there is a bit of Vinny out here on the car. Cam! I'm going to put the Vinnies up here.
It's got to fit the aesthetic.
It's perfect.
Need like a beach and maybe a Corona or 7.
Would Vinny drink Corona, though?
Yeah, that is a good question.
I tell you, the outside of this thing is just, it's like, it's definitely got a New York vibe.
Yeah, especially with the rake, well,
The lack of rake.
once you put air in it.
Yeah. Yeah, the 80s called, they want their Inkies back.
The one locking lug nut. That's chrome.
Goes, hello!
Yes, that is really bugging me more than it should.
I hate to say it, but I really actually like the mirrors.
Yes.
I don't know why they work, but they do.
When I passed it, I thought it's something that could come off a kit.
They just need to be painted the same color as the car. That's the only thing I don't know about it. It's like
Or do the gold.
Do the gold.
I don't know. I think gold would be gaudy looking.
It's kind of gaudy.
Yeah.
Looking. I think that, I don't know, like I said, we could almost do we could do an Iron Man vibe with this car. Could actually work.
Yeah.
Take Mean Streak off.
Yeah, Stark Industries. That'd be cool. That would be cool.
Stark Industries on the hood. Leave it the maroon, and actually do some gold that's not, Walmart spray
Not
paint.
rattle can gold. Good gold.
A really good gold, whatever that
Maybe
might
like
be.
A flaky gold.
Gold flaky.
Yeah.
That's starting to get a little bit more into Vato, not Vito.
Switch out the steering wheel for a chain one.
I actually really like lowriders. I have to say,
yeah. No,
the paint
I dig
aesthetic
'em.
on those cars
Yeah.
is like on point. Really
Yes.
good stuff. Anyway, you're getting me distracted like you always do.
Overall, it's very clean.
It's actually really clean. It's a
Yeah.
New York car. It must have been done. I think Pat told me it was done sometimes in the 80s.
Yeah.
It was built.
This thing must have been garage or something kept, not
It's like
driven.
it's like the Galaxy. It's in a better spot than the Galaxy's in.
Yeah.
But at some point, somebody really loved that Galaxy. This car shows a lot of love. It also shows a lot of rear window louver.
Cheap rear window louver too.
Okay, that right there. I mean, the Vinny is actually starting to outrun the the bad car stuff bingo. It's actually Vinny's winning.
Yeah, that is the cheapest set of louvers I've ever seen.
Oh, it's not that. That's something. It's just.
I went
It's
up
a Vinny.
I went up and touched it, and the whole thing flexed. I got to imagine you get a breeze under that thing going 70, and
I'm hoping that the current owner, like tells him to do a Via con Dios on those.
take that off.
Anyway.
But I mean, I'm amazed how little rust there is.
Yeah, I mean, overall the car seems to be fairly straight, fairly nice. There's a few small things that I would do different, and some things that need to be fixed on it, like the rear springs actually need to be, done, because I can see junk coming around where the isolators
I
are
was
at.
about to say it looks fuzzy. I can see it from here. And
So we know it needs isolators at the very least.
it looks like the tubes are also running into the springs when they travel.
I'm probably going to want to get rid of the air shocks that are in the back,
Oh,
because I
absolutely.
know
Yeah.
Vinny put air shocks on this car.
Yeah.
So get rid of the air shocks. Do something with the front end where you're dropping the nose of the car back down to an acceptable level, because it honestly looks like a 4x4 right now.
Or like it's a roller.
Yeah, like it doesn't have an engine or anything in it. Like
Yeah.
the glass is out of it. It looks like it's not got anything in there.
Yeah.
So
Looks easy to get under and change the oil though. I could fit on it. At least enough. Enough to reach my hand in there.
Mona Lisa would be happy. She would like this car. My cousin Vinny.
I can't even find anything I really don't like on the outside, except the lug nut.
Honestly, I don't mind the inkies on here. They actually go with the vibe on the whole car. The only thing I would probably do, this is just a personal thing, would be to do like a medium gray on the inkies, and then have the gold in the other places, like the Stark Industries thing on the hood. And I don't even know why I'm talking about this like it's going to happen. But the Stark Industry thing on the hood and the side stuff, the side louvers on it, and the lower chrome trim stripe, take all that stuff and make that a nice gold.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. Like maybe have it hydro dipped.
Yeah. Or I was
some kind of
actually
gold.
thinking is wrapped. Because that'd be...
You could probably wrap it. I think the louvers are probably going to be kind of hard to wrap.
Yeah, that'd have to be vacuum wrapped.
That would be easy enough to do.
Yeah.
The trim piece, you could wrap it in a gold and be done with it.
And I'd like a fatter tire on the back.
If you're going to
Just
go with that,
taller, at
I honestly wouldn't mind, and it's getting popular again to go with that 70s and 80s vibe, where you got the big tires in the back and little tires up front.
It fits the vibe on this one.
You do. Don't lose your glasses.
No, thank
Sorry, helping you out of there a little bit. I forgot to mention the cab mounts on this thing look really good.
Yeah, I mean, overall, really,
I don't understand. It's like these were the kind rats. They didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't do
Yeah.
anything.
Why can't I
heinous.
find them? Why can't I find kind rust?
Your truck.
Yeah.
You got the rats. Like you open the door up and it smells like you're in an ammonia
What do you want?
factory. Little rat with a tattoo on his arm, smoking a cigarette.
Who told you about this place? I kill him.
Got little balconies in the back corners where the cabs rusted out.
Oh, God.
All right. I don't know how we lose control this way. Join us on Patreon. At the $10 a month level, you get monthly meetings with me. On one side of me or the other, Andrew will decide in post. There's a list going up. These are the guys who put their money where their mouth is, and they have gone above the $10 level or at the $10 level, that's really not that important. If you want us to help us out, have we helped you out? Have we done something for you in the past that has saved you some money on your car? And if that's the case, maybe think about giving us a little bit of money for that. It helps Andrew. It doesn't benefit me at all. It just allows me to help these kids out and get a couple of them paid on the weekends besides, pizza and I can't.
Non-alcoholic beer.
Non-alcoholic beer. Also, subscribe to the channel. We're on our march to 100,000 subscribers. I think we're right at 95,000 right now. We got 5,000 left. Go find somebody that you watch and ask them to send people our way. Honestly, that works. My friend Stephen Holtz over on his channel, he had
going to his friend's house and subscribing.
He actually got with Emily Reeves, who has her own channel, and they got him to the 500 that he needed to be able to go to some no-name drags, I think is what he's doing. So he had to have 500 subscribers. He's at 502, so if he gets really lucky, YouTube won't suck those out of his account.
Yeah. Let's just do a purge, all the bots, and back down to 40.
So anyway, oh, there goes my glasses. Oh, they're moving too. Wow, we just generally fall off the truck, don't we? So anyway, subscribe to the channel, check us out over there, and then finally, do me a favor. Be kind to each other, love each other, treat each other nice. You guys have a great week, and we'll see you next time on Autorestomod. I'm telling you, Iron Man. It's kind of cool because, like I said before, Pat's got the Captain America Camaro he's doing. His buddy, who is 1 year younger, and they have the same birthday, could do the Iron Man Camaro.
Yeah, and it's actually a 1 year difference in their cars.
And it's a 1 year difference in their cars. I think that's kind of a cool vibe. Honestly, like the mirrors.
Yeah, no, I dig them.
I do. I think the mirrors are cool. They need to be body colored, but I do like them.
Yeah.
Camera guy's petting the mirror like he's got a cat. Oh, a little creepy. Anyway, so now I guess we get to do the hard thing. We get to
push it back on a little bit.
Push it back on. Push it back on. He's got a little winch.
Oh, cool.
So we don't have to worry about the push on the.
We just gotta still
get it back
push
over
it
there. Him driving it kind of concerns me a little bit. Jackson's driving now.
Ooh.